Released by Capcom in the year 2007 on the Nintendo Wii, Resident Evil The Umbrella Chronicles will be an on-rails shooter just like the Darkside Chronicles game. Written and directed by Yasuhiro Seto, who also directed Resident Evil The Darkside Chronicles, the game would feature events of Resident Evil 0, 1, and 3 from the perspective of Albert Wesker, but they would all be non-canon retcons. However, upon beating them all, there is a fourth chapter with an all-new story that is canon, starring Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine. For gameplay, everything is done in the first person, though there are several hidden items among destructible environments, and there is some replayability with the ability to unlock and upgrade weapons, or choose among multiple paths in a chapter. For this video, I'll only be talking about the new canon content introduced. The story only gets larger from here, so let's cut it down to size with a recapitation. On July 24, 1998, during the Arklay Mansion incident, Rebecca had just split off from Billy Cohen after the events of Resident Evil 0, and was looking for the rest of Bravo team in a new mansion. She finds her teammate Richard, but along the way she spots tall and imposing men leave the mansion with a body bag, and pass undeterred by the zombies in the forest. Later, as the events of Resident Evil 1 occur, Albert Wesker then wakes up from the verge of death thanks to a virus prepared for him by William Birkin, and he regenerates stronger than ever, but right before the mansion is about to self-destruct. He hurries to a terminal to finish his plan of stealing Umbrella's data, but finds that a man named Sergei has already backed it up to a remote computer and locked Wesker out with the help of the Red Queen protocol built in to protect Umbrella assets. Angered, Wesker swears his revenge, but is forced to pull back for now, escaping the mansion before it explodes but emerging as superhuman. Later, during the Raccoon City outbreak, we see Ada Wong has indeed survived her near-fatal encounter with the Tyrant. She is contacted by Wesker, who is displeased with her betrayal and choosing Leon over her mission, but she produces a tissue sample with Birkin's G-Virus, which causes Wesker to reconsider her usefulness. He informs her of a way out of town with a tissue sample as her ticket, and despite her severe wounds, she manages to locate it. It's actually a helicopter with an Umbrella executive within, as well as the commander of the UBCS, Umbrella's private military, Sergei. He's actually moving an Umbrella computer core, explaining this is all to ensure Umbrella survives, since this core contains all of the research data from the Mansion experiments and Raccoon City. At the same time, Umbrella operative Hunk also succeeds in delivering the original G-Virus sample to Umbrella directly. Afterwards, Umbrella lost a lot of value as the government investigated their involvement with the Raccoon City disaster. However, Umbrella was able to shift and misdirect much of the blame, including back to federal agencies, allowing them to drag out proceedings and legalities. Over time, there was no real evidence produced linking Umbrella to the Raccoon City outbreak, or BOWs, as it was all destroyed along with the city. Jumping ahead 5 years to February 18, 2003, Umbrella is working on a new BOW in a base of operations in Russia and preparing to sell it to the black market. Outbreak survivors Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine have teamed up again and joined a regional biohazard containment unit. Upon hearing of this lead on Umbrella, they rush in, eager to complete their mission of taking down the company once and for all. Spotting some hunters on the surface, they know they're on the right track, so they rappel in. Strangely, though the facility looks operational, there are zombified workers and soldiers around like there's been a fresh outbreak. As their team is struggling against the unexpectedly large numbers of BOWs in the facility, Chris and Jill find a hidden elevator and make a grim note about the new nightmare they're entering, but will end for good. Descending hundreds of meters below the surface, they learn this is a BOW mass production plant, and wonder about the rumors of a new BOW being developed. Finding all manners of BOWs produced over the years, like Hunters, Lickers, Eliminators, and even Neptunes, it seems this facility also disposes of those not meeting some sort of standard. Encountering and evading rising security measures like trip mines and a deadly laser grid, they figure they must be getting closer as they enter a strange room that seems to be for testing BOWs. They are hailed by an observing Sergei, who is eager to confirm the rumor of a new BOW by revealing Talos, a cybernetically enhanced tyrant in grafted power armor controlled by Umbrella's own Red Queen computer. With the research taken from the Arklay Mansion lab, this was originally the next step for developing the tyrant by the American Umbrella research team. The main problem with the basic tyrant is its lack of control and judgment. The European branch experimented with the synthetic parasite thanks to testing on Lisa Trevor with the NE-alpha parasite, thus leading to the Nemesis T-type, which was able to follow instructions and select targets. The American branch thought to approach the problem with computers, thus leading to Talos, which has a chip in its brain linked to the Umbrella supercomputer Red Queen, and has a mounted missile launcher to deal with long-range threats. Under persistent fire, the Talos is pushed back, evolving instantly to combat the threat and mutating into a new form with monstrously huge claws and tentacles. Locating and targeting new tears in its body from the rapid mutations around its cybernetics, Chris and Jill pierce the resilient offensive Talos to end the new prototype. Defeating Umbrella again, and this time with a heap of evidence, Chris and Jill extract their team confident this is the final nail in the coffin of Umbrella. Ironically, what would actually bring Umbrella down was anonymous evidence and testimony against the company provided by Wesker himself. Unknown to them at the same time, Wesker was the one to tip them off about this facility in the first place, but would personally be the one to infiltrate and get back all of the Umbrella research data Sergei compiled and moved. Before Chris and Jill arrived, Wesker broke in and contaminated the base with a T-virus, and despite most of the staff now infected or killed, Sergei knows all he needs is the Red Queen, the computer core, and Talos to revive Umbrella. As Talos is activated early, Colonel Sergei comes out to personally greet Albert Wesker, and it turns out they are old rivals, now with different visions for the future of Umbrella. Sergei pulls back as two custom tyrants named Ivan come out to deal with Wesker. Though with his superhuman strength and speed, Wesker is able to withstand and outfight the onslaught of these two custom tyrants at once. Now catching up to Chris and Jill, who are unknowingly acting as a diversion for Wesker, he catches up to Sergei. Sergei is impressed at Wesker for beating his two Ivans. As it turns out, alongside Sergei's loyalty to Oswald Spencer and preserving Umbrella, he's also one of those with the 1 in tens of million chance in the world of holding genes compatible to T-virus that would not only produce a tyrant, but also successfully combine with the NE Alpha parasite. Given this valuable rarity, Umbrella made clones of him that enabled the mass production of Model T-103 Tyrants out of Sheena Island's Tyrant plant, and produced the Nemesis T-Tyrant. In a way, he's right to think every tyrant in the world is his brother. Mutating into his own unique tyrant form to combat Wesker, Sergei's loyalty is no match for Wesker's treachery, as the original mold for the ultimate life form falls to the new model. Wesker grabs a disc with all of Umbrella on it, and in a few keystrokes formats the Red Queen, deleting the Umbrella AI and the database it protected. As the game ends, Wesker has the evidence needed to finally destroy Umbrella legally, and with the T-virus and all of the Umbrella research in his hands, he begins preparing to usher in a new era for the world by his own vision. The Umbrella Corporation is soon found guilty on all charges related to Raccoon City, with responsibility on its unethical experiments being pinned on its founder Oswald Spencer, whom has gone into hiding. As Wesker takes a seat in his new command center, he promises to find the fugitive Spencer, as the age of Umbrella Corporation has now ended. Resident Evil: The Umbrella Chronicles has enjoyed the success of selling over 1.5 million copies worldwide.